Hello, what is up? Let's see, this is actually it doesn't matter how many times I've recorded this. Fun fact, if you're invading in Kaled, it's often going to give you a shitty spawn point, and you can just fall off onto that branch, and the next branch, bam, you're in Zelia, Town of Sorcery. The jar cannon is good. I am not, good as an invader. I think it's really important that you understand for this video, for whatever other videos, right? I don't do this because I'm good. I'm not good at the game that much. I mean, I try and be better at the game, but I'm not. There's a million people out there better at Elden Ring than me. So please don't watch this trying to figure out necessarily how to be, mechanically better at Elden Ring. What you're about to watch is 3v1 that through the magic of backstabs. Bam! Oof! That feels good. That side is a huge bummer when there's, two phantoms and a host. So it was convenient to take that out first. Now it's 2v1. That is really a 1v1 right now that I am shitting the bed on because we are both just running attack monsters and he's doing a better job with his running attacks than I am. I mean, he just used horns and, right, I still haven't killed him. He's wearing robes. I have no idea what soul level he is. But, I'm not doing this because I'm the best that's ever done it. So, host chimed in with a couple pew-pews, which just, reminds us that, no, this is not a duel. And then he sets up 1,000 glintstone shards, and I wonk, duck sound, parry, wonk, wonk. But it turns out that the window for parrying, carry, and retaliation is huge. You can be a terrible player and still get parries. What you're going to see for about the next minute is me trying to basically win against Brother Goldwine while host is in the background just absolutely pewing my ass ragged. And so right here's when you see me get kind of sick of just taking constant chip damage from the host, who is level appropriate. It looks like is level 50, plus 12 weapons, plus 5 somber is mine. He's probably in the 10-ish range. But he's probably got the meteorite staff I can't see from here. Probably does, and just because they're probably not a very good player, and don't know much about the game doesn't mean that their AR is lower. I watched a video, I think, say it right, 1,000 years ago, Dark Souls 3. Just because somebody's no good at the game doesn't know that and go in and change their AR to, be lower just because they suck. It is still very real. So right here's where you see that I'm dry of flask. I've got, I think, still my healing flask, which is set to heal half health and regen. But I realize, I'm not going to win this. They're just going to outflask me through chip damage. So I back up into the PvE. Because I, 1v1 a little bit more consistently, I have faith in my ability to deal with this, even though I've been playing kind of like dog shit. I'm not the try hard to ever try hard at Elden Ring, but I like winning. Winning's nice. This guy goes through what I just went through, so I give him a little salty gesture because, I survived it for like 2 minutes, and he survived it for like 5 seconds. Next up, this is a short little clip. Didn't save the beginning of this invasion, but it's another example of I'm just kind of sitting back. I got a bow. At this point, this was probably like 3 weeks ago. I hadn't gone out and gotten the right arrows, so it's like, plus 12 compound bow on minimum stat requirements so that I could have fucking 45 vigor. So it's not doing much work, is what I'm saying. Like under 100 damage a hit. And, these two, there's no PvE around. There's a overleveled phantom sitting around with Moonveil, just sort of waiting to Moonveil me while the host has the no flasks thing, no flask scythe. which you get in the Weeping Peninsula. Again, it's not like I'm out here accusing anybody of twinking, but God, is that weapon kind of annoying, you know? From faith-based fucking Kirk Cameron fucking hosts. And so this just felt alright, you know? Because what are you doing? And then this felt even more alright, to be honest. Heater Shield sucks, and I've recently replaced it, but Carrying Retaliation doesn't suck. I doubt the fandom even saw that point down. It's not for them. It's just for me. This next one I think is kind of long. It is 3. You know, it's your host is 2 phantoms. And I included it because it's sort of an older clip from mine when I was still sort of getting the hang of this build. Ultimately what this build is, and I guess I'm gonna try and include a picture of it at the end of the video. This video one, so I'm not much in the way of editing. This build is just like, what is the least stats I can have to use a weapon? Great. Now let's stack some other stuff. So you see these this is a fairly toxic, literally toxic weapon in the hands of a shitty person. I'm only sometimes a shitty person. Recently, and you're gonna see this at the end of the video, sort of once the phantoms are dead, you'll see me switch away from the Ansper Rapier to hopefully something a little bit more interesting. No status, right? Like you see in my left hand, I've got a Clean Rot Sword, farmed it. It's got bleed on it just to keep applying pressure, and it's nice to have multiple status buildups. It was important to me to not just like ask somebody, host blows himself up there, I can moral clap. I'm like, why are you blowing yourself up? It was important to me to not have somebody trade me a second one, because part of the fun of being an invader in these games has always been, right, you start out the game, you're really weak. If you invade at the beginning of the game, you're like double weak, you have half flask, it's a whole mess. But the idea is that you can kind of earn some stuff with PvE prowess, right? I don't have friends that I summon to play this game with me, but it's like, if you can, you know, beat Morgoth at level fucking 50, then great, you know? And that's not a hugely impressive thing or anything, but it does make me feel better. You are gonna see a million whiff parries here. And I really enjoy this section because I struggle to play patient, but this guy clearly, right, when a parry works once, guys get obsessed with parrying. Phantoms, they cannot stomach how good it feels to actually get a parry, and so as soon as they get one, they're hooked. You're about to see the running R2 of the rapier be pretty dangerous if you can condition somebody to roll backwards. This host is being pretty good about swerving, and I am being pretty patient to just sort of wait it out. You see me being a parry god there, so whoops. Yeah, that's the thing. This makes it just, like, no fun. You get Ansper Rapier with a host who hasn't leveled Vigor, like, what do you think's gonna happen? They're gonna die, like, immediately. The question is, how do you get them alone? And while I like to think I outplayed those phantoms, right, like, the status effects are doing a lot of work for me. Oh, this is a fun one. All right, this one isn't old. This is more recent, although not the most recent, because I've sort of updated this guy's fashion a little bit to be poisier, because it's hard to get by on 11 poise, which is, you know, my guy doesn't have a ton of poise. All right, so spoiler alert, I lose this one. And Elden John is, he watches YouTube. He's got his Bloodhound Step there. I'm not going to judge. You know, I think at this point my Misery Cord has Bloodhound Step on it. I try mostly, you know, to use it to dodge out of the way of unbalanced stuff and not just sort of endlessly run away from hosts, but like it's a tool. I don't get mad at people for using tools in the game. Like, it's a broken tool, yeah, but it's a tool. It can be frustrating, but like I'm in his game right now, right? Elden John's playing with what I assume is his friend. That right there. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, this this guy is in a Discord. This guy watches somebody who's good at the game. And I like to think I'd be Elden John 1v1, but this isn't 1v1, it's an invasion. Spoiler alert, I lose it because I only get him alone for a couple minutes. Not sure why I parried out a hit stun there. Something that dual rapier setups are always going to struggle with is poise breaking people who know what they're doing. Because as soon as you have, like, just scaled armor on, right, which you can get very quickly, God, that guy's Storm Stomp R2 is absolutely smacking my ass. You know, what would have worked here, and that's the fun of looking back at invasions after the fact, especially the ones you lose. A lot of people just like to post wins, but it's like, yeah, the ones you lose are more important, that's how you learn. I lose this one because I don't have anything that can effectively turn and burn the two of them. I don't even think I have a straight sword on my build at this point. But straight swords aren't the turn and burn machines that they used to be in Dark Souls 3 because you can poise through them pretty easily, one-handed at least. And so the biggest change I've made to this build, really since this fight, I watched it back and was like, my build is missing something, which is half the fun of playing against good players, right? Is that it helps fill in the gaps of what are you missing? What doesn't your build have? Because you're never going to figure out what's lacking about your build when you're playing against just like, PvEers who don't really know what's up. And I realized that I was missing a good turn and burn. In a second, you're going to see me put Flaming Strike on a Partisan, and I don't use it against players who know what's up, but I can use it to do a fully non-PvE backed 2v1 against two guys with swords, which is fun. But I lose this one, right? I would indulge him. This guy's bow meant I wasn't very cheesed. I don't give a shit about the host. He doesn't really know what he's doing, so whatever. Okay, I don't know why. My computer just hard bugged there for a second and didn't let me record anything. Super strange. I'll figure it out at some point. You see here, it's fucking Elden John again. Rematch. Battle of the Century. Let's see. So earlier I said that I think I said, the heater shield sucks. It does. I've since replaced it. But what doesn't suck is carrying retaliation. So anyway, I realized that I'm not going to beat Elden John and other guy with no PvE support because, like I mentioned before, I don't have any good turn and burn options. Hadn't gotten Flame of the Red Mains at this point. That's a great turn and burn option. Hadn't gotten Flaming Strike. That's a great turn and burn option. Did have Hoarfrost Stomp, but didn't have it on any of the weapons in my inventory currently. Hoarfrost Stomp is honestly more of a psychological turn and burn than anything else. Anymore, it doesn't do very impressive damage. Frost is still Frost. But, whatever. I soft swap parry. If you think that that's cringe, then respectfully, this video is not for you. Because I don't really care what's cringe, and I don't have time to practice it. Practice hard swap parries, because whatever. I take my kid to school. Like, I'm busy. I'll do it later. So that was fun. I didn't beat Elden John, but sometimes you don't have to beat the Phantom. You just have to play around them for a little bit. Okay, this last one is one of it is like what I live for. When I started playing Dark Souls way back in the day, I started with 2, and then really only got into PvP in Dark Souls 3, and this invasion reminded me so much of Dark Souls 3. Just because, 1, it was mostly a contained location, 2, you've got your standard 3-person loadout, and 3, there was something really frequent in Dark Souls 3 that the Ashes of War have kind of, they haven't eliminated, but they have reduced it a lot, which is that, in Dark Souls 3, one person who knew what they were doing, who was well equipped for the fight they were about to have, was just, staggeringly overpowered without even factoring in weapon level, without any of that nonsense. They were very strong compared to 3 people who were not kitted out who didn't really know what they were doing. And I know you're gonna say like, oh, 3 people straight sword R1. It's like, yeah, it could happen. The blender was real. But like the one, if there was anything fun about Dark Souls 3 PvP, it was the extent to which one person could fight like 3 people, based on their ability to like quickly swap weapons in the moment, to adjust to the situation, whatever. The button L2 has rendered some of that moot in Elden Ring, because, if you're invading at level 50, I sound tired. If you're invading at level 50, I'm not twinked out super hard, right? You see Source Seal, you're worth it at level 50. You see the Erdtree's favor, but I think it's not even +1. It's just regular old, from right next to the first bonfire of the game, Erdtree's favor. But I've planned, and I have made adjustments for stuff, and also I'm being patient. And that patience, really pays off against these 3 guys. So, yeah, I can't overstate how much fun, just like pure fun, this invasion was. And it was for a couple reasons. First off, Jar Cannon. Jar Cannon honks. I am bad with the Jar Cannon. There's 1,000 people better than me with the Jar Cannon. But when it works, oh my god, it's so fun. It is, just mill with a bow. That's not an insightful observation, but it's still true. And just like the Millwood bow, it is perfect at taking passive hosts and saying, no, you. You move when I tell you to, and that's when I hit you with big fucking Jar Cannon. Right then is when I hope, I just give up on parrying this dude, because, why parry when there's 3 guys behind you? You would be 100% right to criticize me for not, getting in there, and with the exact right Ash of War, I could just tear these 3 apart, because you don't really, they're not PvP gods. They're not even decked out in PvP kits. I mean, the one guy's got the fucking Estus Reaper, right? So that's no good. But these guys don't mean business. I'm pretty sure the host is fat rolling, right? But that's not really why I play the game. I don't play because I'm the fastest, swap that's ever lived, or because I'm an unstoppable tank. In fact, my first month of invasions in Elden Ring, I carried way too much of my Dark Souls 3, invasion attitude, where I was doing level 55 strength build Dark Souls 3 invasions, and when you were doing that, you were functionally... Why would you ever lose in Dark Souls 3 if you had the right strength build, properly optimized all your rings? You would never. Like, there just wasn't anything outside of people cheating in the game, right, unskilled phantoms, whatever, that could actually pose a threat to you. And that is not the case in this game. Also, note that the host has like 600 vigor, right? So, of course, if I just ran up, smacked him a couple times with a big sword, or poisoned him, he probably doesn't even have any of the shit to cure poison on it, like, that wouldn't work. That's not what's fun. And I think, so much of the YouTube discourse anymore is like, what is the most optimal? Download this build and play the most optimally. You jump and you hit him with the L2 and it instant bleeds him. Instant bleeds him every time. All you need is your friend to drop you a couple of these and instant bleed every time. Yeah, but is that any fun, though, right? These two, the 2 rapiers do shit all for poise damage, but it's fun as hell. And so you're gonna see me use it even in non-optimal situations. You did see me take out a dagger with the Bloodhound step on it. Listen, somebody pulled out the Dragon Breath, right? What are you supposed to... You're just gonna face tank it? It's a good option to have. It's an option. When they nerf it, I'm gonna be really glad. But until they nerf it, if you Dragon Breath me, I'm gonna go at it. So here you see the host. They're having fun. The host is having fun because they just tried to sneak attack me. Can you imagine if that had worked? That would have been so great for them. Like, I just think so much what people talk about around invasions gets obscured by the fact that, one, you're invading, you're in their game. And that no, I'm not a fucking Redditor who's like, oh, you're breaking into their house. You're actually, it's like an actual invasion. No, it's a game. But also, it's a game. And so many people play invasions in ways that are just absolutely zero fun for the host. And maybe you saw me do that a second ago because you're like, yeah, your double rapier setup is no fun for the solo host who ultimately, bends after 3 to 5 seconds of pressure. Absolutely true. And I think I'm currently making adjustments. When I say to the build, I don't mean to the stats. Yes, BHS, enjoy your moment. Oh, he's blood step. Yeah, man, if Bloodhound Step was well balanced, that would be the point, right? How does the Bloodhound Knight fight when you do it early in the game? Bloodhound Step is confusing. Why? Because it covers a fuckload of ground very quickly. And so if you balance it, took out the iframes, its purpose would be as a chase down tool. Like, I think that idea rules. If I sound defensive, it's because I'm extremely defensive. Anyway, so I'm having just a shitload of fun in this invasion, and I think the host just yeeted themselves off a cliff that was too high, as far as I can tell, because I see no change in their health bar, and they died. So, anyway, that little clap is not entirely sarcastic. It's a little sarcastic, but it's not entirely. GG.